Ancient Greco-Roman philosophy. A realm of wisdom, ethics, and the pursuit of the good life. But among its many luminaries, there's one figure whose teachings continue to resonate profoundly with the modern world, Epictetus. Today, let's delve deep into the life and sayings of this legendary Stoic philosopher, exploring not just the famous quotes that he's known for, but the stories and rationale behind them. Born a slave in what is modern-day Turkey, Epictetus' early life was marked by hardship. Yet, even within the confines of his servitude, his insatiable quest for knowledge found a way. Eventually, he earned his freedom and started teaching philosophy in Rome. Epictetus' teachings are enshrined in two main works, the Enchiridion and the Discourses. Although he wrote none of these himself, they were penned by his student, Arrian. They remain the most authoritative sources of his thoughts. One of his most famous quotes is, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." At its heart, this quote underscores the Stoic belief that while we cannot always control external events, we can control our response to them, our judgments, desires, and actions. It's a call for personal responsibility, emphasizing the power of perspective. Another renowned saying is, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Here, Epictetus prompts us to shift our focus from what's missing in our lives to what we actually possess, be it material wealth, relationships, or even intangible gifts like wisdom and virtue. Now, if you're finding this journey through Epictetus' life and teachings fascinating, consider subscribing to Almanac for more enriching content. Let's continue our deep dive. Epictetus was no armchair philosopher. He practiced what he preached. For him, philosophy wasn't just a theoretical exercise but a way of life. He believed in the concept of philosophical training, where rigorous mental exercises were used to transform one's character and behavior. His teachings heavily emphasized the difference between things we can control, our opinions, desires, and actions, and things we cannot, like external events or the actions of others. In one memorable passage, he likens life to playing a game of dice. We can't control the roll, but we can control how we play the hand we're dealt. Diving deeper into his life, we see that Epictetus wasn't just about philosophical musings. He was deeply compassionate. He believed that all humans are inherently capable of virtue and that we should treat each other with kindness and respect, regardless of our social standing. But what made his teachings truly stand out, especially in the Stoic tradition, was his emphasis on inner freedom. He believed that true freedom was a state of mind, a serenity that comes from accepting the world as it is while striving to be the best version of oneself. Epictetus was not just a philosopher but a beacon of wisdom whose teachings continue to inspire millions. His profound understanding of human nature, combined with his practical approach to philosophy, makes him a timeless figure in the annals of history. Despite the hardships of his early life, Epictetus never saw himself as a victim. This mindset stemmed from a core Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus often spoke about how life consists of things within our control and things outside of it. By focusing our energies on the former, we can achieve inner peace and tranquility. To truly grasp the gravity of this idea, consider this quote, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." In essence, it's our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, that cause us distress. This line of thinking encourages personal agency. By changing our perceptions, we can change our emotional responses. This leads us to another fascinating aspect of Epictetus' teachings, the idea of values and judgments. For Epictetus, every emotional reaction, be it anger, sadness, or joy, stems from a value judgment. For instance, if someone insults you and you get angry, it's because you value the person's opinion. If you didn't, the insult would have no impact. So, in a way, by examining and modifying our value judgments, we have the power to influence our emotional states. But how do we modify these value judgments? Epictetus had an answer for that too, through rigorous self-examination and reflection. By questioning why we hold certain beliefs and values and examining their validity, we can arrive at a more balanced, rational, and peaceful mindset. Epictetus' teachings didn't just stop at personal introspection. He also spoke about our relations with others. One of his most enlightening perspectives is on forgiveness. He argued that people act based on their current understanding of the world. When someone does wrong by us, it's because they believe their action to be right. Instead of harboring anger, Epictetus urged understanding and compassion. By trying to see the world from the other person's perspective, we pave the path to forgiveness and peace. Another profound teaching of Epictetus was his views on death. In a time where life was fragile and the average lifespan short, the fear of death was a significant concern. But Epictetus approached it with rationality and calm. He saw death not as an end but as a natural part of life. Death, he said, is nothing more than a transformation of nature. Instead of fearing it, he urged his students to live a life of virtue and integrity so that when their time came, they could face it with dignity and grace. While Epictetus' teachings sound profound, they weren't just theoretical. He lived by them. Stories of his life highlight his unwavering commitment to Stoicism. For instance, it's said that once, while still a slave, his master twisted his leg to break it. Instead of crying out in pain or anger, Epictetus calmly stated, "You will break my leg." His leg did break, but his spirit remained unshaken. Such was the power of his convictions. His influence wasn't limited to his era. Epictetus' teachings found resonance centuries later. The great Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic himself, was heavily influenced by Epictetus. Even in the modern era, many self-help gurus, psychologists, and thinkers find value in his wisdom. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a modern psychotherapy technique, has roots in Stoic principles, particularly those taught by Epictetus. To wrap up our exploration, let's revisit his impact on modern Stoicism. The Stoic revival in the 21st century owes much to Epictetus. As our lives become increasingly complicated with technological advancements and societal pressures, the simplicity and clarity of his teachings offer solace. In a world of external chaos, his wisdom provides the tools for internal peace. In many ways, Epictetus is not just a philosopher from the annals of history. He is a timeless guide, a beacon of light, illuminating the path of reason, virtue, and inner tranquility. As we navigate the challenges of our lives, his words remind us of the power within us, the power to choose our reactions, shape our values, and lead a life of purpose and meaning. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey. Epictetus might have left the world centuries ago, but his legacy remains as powerful and relevant as ever. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe for more insightful content from Almanac. Embrace the wisdom of the ages and let it guide your path.